Well, it is Dallas week for the Eagles as we get set for a good matchup on Sunday Night Football. The Dallas Cowboys traveling to Philadelphia to take on their NFC East rivals in a game that could solidify taking control of first place in the division. And there are so many storylines to follow here. We're taking you through all of them on Cowboys Rewind. I'm Haley Sutton. Let's start where we always do this season, the Dallas defense. What more can they do, right? After a week where they set the tone with a defensive touchdown against the defending Super Bowl champions, they'll now face an Eagles offense that's run heavy across the board. But the guys on Cowboys Crosstalk this week feel like this defense is something special.
Gentlemen, this team is 4-1. Cowboys are 4-1. They have a chance to go for first place in the division. Coming up on Sunday Night Football against Philadelphia. Rocket, I'll start with you. You came in red hot wanting to talk about this defense. You're a wide receiver, yet you're wanting to talk defense. Why is that?
Well, I am a former Cowboys hater because I grew up a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Right.
And one of the things that I hated about the Cowboys was what was known as the doomsday defense.
Right.
I'm here to ask a question. Is it premature to speak the next generation of doomsday is potentially on the scene? Am I premature? Am I drunk from the victory over the defending Super Bowl champs? Is that where I am right now? I'm asking you guys.
What do you think, Nate?
You know, this question was brought to me a couple of days ago, and I want to wait until after Thanksgiving before I answer that.
Okay.
But I will probably see you again before that.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
I will. But I'm like, my boy Rob, our Cow can answer this.
I can answer it. I mean, I wasn't around to see the Doomsday defense, so I don't think this is a great place for me to really talk about it.
And believe me, a lot of the guys who are on that Doomsday defense is not around.
Wow. So, Rob, what do you think?
I was not around either.
What is going on here?
But I'm going to defer to Nate and Rocket on this. But there's a lot of polls going around on Twitter about this. Let's name this defense, whether it's Doomsday 2 or 3 or whatever. Let's name them something because of the way they're playing right now, though.
Okay.
Wow. Maybe they've earned that. I don't know, based off of last year, too. They're on their way anyway.
Dallas has consistently been called the underdogs this season. They'll go into this one no different. At least that's the narrative around the league. The players, however, are getting tired of hearing about the other team. And according to DeMarcus Lawrence, you better put some respect on this Dallas defense.
Yes, it will be a good test for us. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, they do have a pretty good offense. They got a good receiver core, good quarterback, good offensive line. So, they well-rounded. But also, we them boys. Remember that. Don't worry about it. Y'all will see it on Sunday. So that's all it took. It's nothing they do special. Like, it's just football. You know what I mean? It's just us reading our keys, playing our assignments. Like, y'all got to understand the offensive line is taught to block us. If they can't block us, then, it's going to be a lot of chaos out there. So, y'all asking me questions like I should be worried about them. Never worried. Never from any situation. But I just want y'all to understand that, we come to play too. Appreciate y'all.
Well, clearly this defense is fired up, and they have the personnel to back it up. The team has allowed just 14.4 points per game this season, holding Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, Carson Wentz, and Matthew Stafford to just one touchdown each. But can they do it against one of the best rushing offenses in the league? When we return on Cowboys Rewind, we'll key in on some important matchups and break down how the Cowboys can contain the Philly special in Jalen Hurts.
Cowboys Rewind is brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. This segment is brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, the Cowboys and Eagles are the only teams in the NFL to have 5 players with 10 or more quarterback pressures through Week 5 of the 2022 season. Both teams have also found success when using 4 or less pass rushers. The Cowboys have 15 sacks while the Eagles have 13 when doing so. So if you need a guy to get to the quarterback, Micah Parsons is your man. He leads the league in quarterback pressures with 24, and his versatility is unmatched. Parsons has 6 sacks in 2022 and needs just one more to pass DeMarcus Ware for the most by a Cowboys player in their first 2 seasons. And listen, Jalen Hurts isn't exactly invincible. While he's racked up over 1,600 total yards and 10 total touchdowns, he's been dropped 11 times so far this season. Now, the biggest test will be how the Cowboys can contain the run. The Eagles lead the NFL with 12 rushing touchdowns. And get this, the last team to start the season 5-0 and run for 12 scores, the 1968 Dallas Cowboys. It's a challenge former Cowboys wide receiver Isaiah Stanback and analyst Kyle Yeomans broke down for us on this week's special edition.
Going up against Philadelphia, you can't afford for that to happen because these guys are balanced, they're methodical, and they work their way down the field. What type of matchup are you looking at to try and close those gaps up as much as possible?
Yeah, well, one thing we know about Philadelphia is they have Jalen Hurts, and they have Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders in the backfield, and those guys are going to cause you a bunch of headaches because as a defensive end, you're now left in no man's land. Yeah. If you come downhill like you guys see right here, and he decides to creep down the line, then what's Jalen Hurts going to do? He's going to pull the ball, and he's out on the edge. Well, guess what? What if the defensive end goes upfield? Okay, well, now if he goes upfield and tries to play Jalen Hurts, now you have this running back coming down and across because you have the numbers inside the box. So it leaves you in a very bad predicament, but we're going to see an example right here of just how they can expose you in terms of them utilizing their cutback lanes. So go ahead and let it play out a little bit. We're going to go right here. Pause. Perfect. Pause it right there. What did I just say about the defensive end position? He's left in no man's land. He's trying to go that way to stop Jalen Hurts. He doesn't want to go this way and chase the dragon right here, so he has to stay put. That's how they're going to try to neutralize our Micah Parsons. And then right here at the offensive line position, what do you see happening? Okay, guys are locking up, and you got the offensive linemen working up to the linebackers. If they're able to work up to the linebackers, this linebacker now is left to make a decision. Do I want to go outside or do I want to shoot inside? If I go inside and I choose here, now what's the running back going to do? He's going to carry on outside, and there's nobody here because I have one of the biggest, strongest receivers in the league in A.J. Brown right here to go out here and block. Well, what if I go outside? Well, you're seeing it here. He's scraping here over the top, and now guess what? Everybody's getting widened. He's getting walled off, and what does that open up? It opens up a huge hole where? Backside, and you guys are going to see it right here where they do a good job of putting their foot in the ground. Let it play out. Boom, pause right there. As soon as he puts his foot in the ground right here, who has this area back here? Absolutely nobody. Everybody has a man on him downfield. He's blocked. Everybody's man on, and there's huge opportunities that they exploit right here against the Arizona Cardinals for a big play that puts them down there on the goal line, and that's what Dallas cannot allow to happen. We saw it last week against the Rams. Best believe if I saw it, they saw it as well. We have to make sure we take care of our assignments and be patient in our responsibility.
Well, it seems like all of the players on that side of the ball have something to prove in Sunday's game, but Dorrance Armstrong has some personal beef with Jalen Hurts. I spoke with him in the locker room about his experience playing against the Eagles play caller.
Yeah, we're from the same side of town, Houston, Texas, from the east side, Galena Park area. We played Little League baseball together. His dad was a coach. So we've been close for a long time. Our parents know each other. Just been friends for a long time. Yeah. What's the edge between the two? See, I don't think he think about me like I'm thinking about him. So I'm gonna say I have the edge. He got a lot more to worry about than I do. So yeah.
A lot for this defense to be preparing for, but the offense has its work cut out for it as well. It'll be Cooper Rush behind center for the 5th consecutive week. How he's feeling ahead of this divisional matchup when we come back on Cowboys Rewind.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
For the last 4 weeks, Cooper Rush has proven you can find success if you're surrounded by people who believe in you. Mike McCarthy has put him in a position where he can feel comfortable leading the offense. And as he heads into the biggest game of his career so far, Cooper Rush isn't worried about the stats or how he stacks up against a formidable defense. He's just focused on being Cooper Rush, the quarterback.
Ask CeeDee Lamb the same question, but from a quarterback perspective, what do you think will be the biggest key, or what are the biggest keys to kind of exiting Philly with a win?
Yeah, always it's, every week it's, big play production and, staying on the field. We got to convert third downs and then put points on the board, whether it's 3 or 7. We got to get points. And, a big focal point is our red zone and third down right now. So a lot of emphasis on it this week, and it'll be a big-time addition for us on Sunday.
What's been the primary issue on third down, just the length of distance you've had to go?
Yeah, that's always plays a factor. I mean, that's pretty much the stats tell you that one. I thought we were good last week, getting more third and shorts and converting. So we just want to sustain drives, We feel like we can get rhythm going. Kellen can get a rhythm. We all can get a rhythm if we just keep getting drives going and get our defense a rest. Yeah, Philly's always a crazy place to play. It's a fun environment. We've played a lot of Sunday night games there. And so the guys will be juiced. Both sides will be juiced. Stadium will be rocking. So it'll be a tough environment for us to communicate. We've trained with it. We've done it before. But it's never easy. But we're looking forward to it.
Cooper Rush 2-0 in primetime as a starter. Both of those came on the road, so could be good odds for him on Sunday. As for his teammate, Dak Prescott, a positive week for him. Dak was elevated to limited at practice as he inches closer to his return. He spent the week going through progressions in quarterback school and tossing to receivers after workouts. And while he's technically still in that rehab phase, head coach Mike McCarthy and the team are happy with the progress of QB1.
You talk about an influential voice in the locker room. We didn't really think that Dak Prescott would be considered that type of guy either because he is obviously the starter. But you guys made a decision when he was injured to keep him on the roster so he could be a part of things and help out Cooper Rush. Seems like he's done that and then some.
Well, there's no question. I mean, Dak's and not that he doesn't have a list this long in terms of what he brings to the table, whether it's his skills, whether it's his leadership, his work ethic. He checks all the boxes. And certainly when he's not able to be out on the field, he's shown what kind of leader he is. He's been right there for Cooper, for the offense, the defense, the special teams. He's a real influence. At the same time, we just felt like you don't take any chances if he can come back a game early. We wanted him out there involved in practice, being a part of the team. And if he happened to come back early, then that's great. But at the same time, we all know this is a long season. As I mentioned to start the show, our group, our organization, from the coaches to the players right on down, have done a great job of really getting us to where we are right now, and certainly don't want to jeopardize anything with Dak if it means rushing him back. We're in a great spot right now. We've got a huge game against the Eagles coming up, but we like where we are.
A welcome sight for many that we will focus more on next week. Right now, all eyes will be on how the Cowboys can put points on the board in this rivalry showdown. We've got Patrick Walker joining us once again to talk about it, coming up next on Cowboys Rewind. Welcome back to Cowboys Rewind. I'm Haley Sutton here in our studios at the Star in Frisco. I am joined by a very special guest, one of our very own beat reporters, Patrick No C Walker of DallasCowboys.com.
No C.
No C.
No C. Not ever.
Now, not ever. Patrick, we've been talking all afternoon just about this matchup and how the Eagles and the Cowboys look pretty similar on paper. So when you're looking at this going into Sunday night, what are your initial reactions to the matchup?
These are two of the best defenses in the NFL, Haley. You talk about the Cowboys and their ability to stop the pass, and they will allow some bend, but they won't break when it gets down to the red zone. And they're going up against, so to speak, an Eagles defense that is also great at in the secondary, taking the ball away, but also against the run, not so much. So that's going to be a point of contention the Cowboys can probably exploit. And on the offensive side of the ball, Cooper Rush, he's going to have to minimize his mistakes or prevent them altogether.
And speaking of Cooper Rush, he's obviously one of the big storylines of this matchup, getting his 5th start. What are maybe some keys to success for Cooper in this offense when they're facing an Eagles pass rush?
Well, for Cooper, Haley, it's going to be about mitigating his number of throws. The Cowboys were able to escape Los Angeles with a victory. Cooper Rush threw only 16 times, 102 yards. Obviously, that's not going to be a continued recipe for success, but guess what? You got Dak Prescott on the horizon. So the Cowboys need to attack an Eagles defensive front that is allowing upwards of 5 yards per carry. Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard, they're really going to have to set the tone to keep that Eagles pass rush at bay.
And obviously, when you have a solid offensive line, that helps your run game, right? And wouldn't it be nice maybe if the Cowboys had a guy who had some experience? playing against the other team?
A little bit. There's a guy, maybe you've heard of him, Jason Peters. 9-time Pro Bowler, future Hall of Fame offensive lineman. Peters is trending towards being available for the Cowboys on Sunday against the Eagles, and that's going to be huge on several fronts. Obviously, there's no one on this Cowboys roster or in the organization that knows the Philadelphia Eagles as well as Jason Peters does, so they'll be able to pick his brain this week. But if he's available, you're talking about strengthening that left guard position on top of an impressive outing from Connor McGovern against the Los Angeles Rams, and that's what the Cowboys need to do, is make sure that they're following Peters, they're following Zach Martin, with Ezekiel Elliott, with Tony Pollard, lowering the number of attempts Cooper Rush has to take advantage of an Eagles defense that's allowing upwards of 5 yards per carry. That's how you set the tone, keep the pass rushers at bay.
And it was interesting in the locker room listening to Jason and how excited he was for this matchup. Let's get to that sound because he's got some good stuff to say.
It's just another game for me. Get to go back to what I laid the foundation at and got my championship, but it's a division game. It's going to be a feisty game, and like I said, it's just another game for me.
Another game for you, but is Cowboy Week ever another game for Philly fans?
Oh, no. You know, they're going to be feisty. They're going to be throwing stuff, talking all kind of noise, but we'll be ready.
Does it feel a little different? You know, they're undefeated. You guys have one loss. You guys have fired off 4 straight wins. What is the significance of this rivalry for both of these franchises?
I mean, we could have been 1-4. You know, it's Cowboys, Eagles. It's going to be a feisty game. We're going to have to go in there and try to, you know, be perfect, which we're not, but we're going to go in there and play hard and see what happens after that.
It's a rivalry for a reason, right? All bets are off.
Absolutely.
Playing your rivals. All right, we've got to take one final break, but when we come back, it's the return of everybody's new favorite segment, our Poddictions, with my Max and Toby, and we're wishing a very special member of the organization a happy birthday. That's when we come back on Cowboys Rewind. Back here on Cowboys Rewind to wrap up our show. We're going to bring you some Poddictions, but first I want to get your predictions. Patrick Walker of DallasCowboys.com. When you look at these two quarterbacks in Jalen Hurts and Cooper Rush, they're not really guys who are known for their throwing. So I posed the question to my dogs, who's going to have more passing yards, Cooper or Jalen? Your thoughts?
I think it's a situation where Jalen Hurts will probably have more passing yards, but you're talking about two similarly designed quarterbacks as far as passing goes. Jalen Hurts only has 4 touchdowns on the season. Guess who else has 4 touchdowns? Cooper Rush. And Cooper Rush doesn't have any interceptions. Now, that may change against this secondary led by Darius Slay, but if Cooper Rush, again, can minimize or eliminate mistakes altogether, he's going to give this Cowboys offense a chance to be successful.
So on last week's Poddictions featuring my dogs Max and Toby, Toby picked the Cowboys. In fact, he doubled down on the Cowboys being the winner. We changed it up this week, so let's get to this week's Poddictions. All right, so we changed the setup this week, Patrick. I've got 2 chairs in the backyard. The left, of course, representing the visiting Dallas Cowboys and Cooper Rush, and the right representing Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. So the idea here is that I'm going to let the dogs go out at the same time. We're going to see which chair they flock to. There's 2 treats on each chair, so we'll see which dog comes out on top.
Let's go, fellas. Make us proud.
Now, I will say they were extremely eager, but they took off before I was ready. So we'll start this one back. I released them, and they didn't get it.
And you know, this is going to be probably eerily similar to both offenses going against these opposing defenses, trying to figure things out offensively.
So I love that they're investigating. They're kind of taking a peek. Here's the aerial version just to give you an idea. But finally, Max gets it. So he picked the Jalen Hurts side. And one thing about Max is he loves his treats. But Toby, he's struggling. He thinks, you know, maybe I'll follow in my brother's footsteps. Maybe not.
And that's going to be a situation where Cooper Rush is going to drop back and he's going to see pressure and he sees Darius Slay back there and, you know, what's my check down? What's my check down?
So then you saw Max, of course, then change his mind and pick Cooper. He doubles down on Cooper following in his brother's footsteps. Toby just can't get it. So we give him points for being a good boy.
Because they're just such good boys. Great job, gentlemen.
All right, so Patrick, obviously, these guys don't know who's going to throw most. You say Jalen Hurts. I'm going to go Cooper. I like Cooper. I think this is a good opportunity for him to have maybe a breakout game. So I'm going to go Cooper.
That's fair.
You're going Jalen. The Dogs are going with whoever. So
yeah, I'm going to go Jalen simply because I think the Cowboys are going to do a good job of figuring out how to stop him from using his legs, and they're going to force him to try to win this game on his arm. Whereas Cooper Rush, he's going to be more so under siege with that pass rush if he starts to get away from the run game.
All right, well, we will see what happens. And before we go here on Cowboys Rewind, we just want to wish owner Jerry Jones a very happy birthday. He turned 80 on Thursday, so happy birthday, Jerry Jones. That'll do it for us here on Cowboys Rewind. For Patrick Walker, I'm Haley Sutton. We'll do it all again next week.
Cowboys Rewind was brought to you by AT&T, the official 5G innovation partner of the Dallas Cowboys. SWBC Mortgage. Join the more than 120,000 customers that we've helped to find their happier way home. Visit swbcmortgage.com to find a pro today. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.